Ever wonder how someone could sell like 1,425 cars in a single year?
Wow.
That's exactly what Joe Girard did back
Yeah.
in 1973,
Yeah.
setting a Guinness World Record that still stands today.
Crazy.
So we're diving deep into excerpts from his audiobook,
Okay.
How to Sell Anything to Anybody,
All right.
to figure out how he did it.
Makes sense.
You know what's fascinating is that Girard,
What's that?
he didn't start out with
What?
like a silver spoon or anything.
Right.
He had a tough upbringing
Uh-huh.
and even lost a $2 million business,
Oh, wow.
pushing his family to the brink.
Mm.
And this experience, I think, fueled his relentless drive to succeed in sales.
It sounds like hitting rock bottom became his launch pad.
Yeah.
Instead of dwelling on the setbacks, he turned that desperation into a powerful motivator.
For sure. But how did he translate that drive into tangible sales strategy?
Well, he had this unconventional philosophy. He
Yeah.
called it buying business.
Buying business.
Yeah, imagine investing in lead generation as if it were an asset,
It's interesting.
just as important as the product you're selling.
Okay.
Girard didn't wait for customers to find him.
Uh,
He actively sought them out.
so he was proactive,
Very much so.
almost like a hunter rather than a shopkeeper waiting for someone to walk in.
Exactly.
That makes me think about those bird dog programs he was famous for.
Yeah, the bird dogs.
What were those exactly?
So think of it as like a formalized referral system on steroids.
Okay.
He incentivized a network of people to bring him qualified leads,
Gotcha.
turning his everyday interactions into potential sales opportunities.
Huh.
He had this knack for turning everyone he met into part of his sales force.
That's smart.
Yeah.
It's like building an army of scouts
Right.
to constantly bring in new prospects.
Exactly.
I'm starting to see how he hit those record-breaking numbers.
Yeah.
But I wonder, were those incentives purely financial? Or did he have other ways of motivating his bird dogs?
He definitely understood financial incentives,
Right.
but it went beyond that. Girard recognized the power of building genuine relationships.
Okay.
He made people feel valued and appreciated,
Yeah.
which is a powerful motivator in itself.
So it's not just about transactions.
Right.
It's about creating a network of people who genuinely want to see you succeed.
I think so.
It's fascinating how he combined that human touch with strategic thinking.
For sure.
Speaking of strategy,
Yeah.
his direct mail campaigns were legendary.
Oh, yeah. There was something else.
What made them so unique?
He took personalization to a whole new level.
Okay.
Forget generic flyers.
Right.
Girard's mailers were like mini works of art,
Wow.
tailored to grab attention and spark a response.
Interesting.
He even experimented with unusual formats and creative packaging.
Okay, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
It makes me think about how much junk mail I just toss without a second glance.
Right.
Girard clearly understood that you need to stand out from the noise.
Absolutely.
But with those record-breaking sales numbers, how did he manage all those leads and customers?
That's a good question.
Did he ever sleep?
Well, that's where the concept of leverage comes into play.
Leverage?
Yeah, just as a surgeon doesn't stop mid-surgery to sterilize their own instruments,
Right.
Girard built a team to handle tasks that could be delegated.
Okay.
This allowed him to focus on what he did best,
Makes sense.
building relationships and closing deals.
So he understood the importance of playing to his strengths.
Yeah,
And not getting bogged down on the day-to-day minutia.
exactly.
But even with a great team, those numbers are still incredible.
Oh, for sure.
It seems like he had a unique way of thinking about sales.
Yeah, he did.
Is that what led to his success?
He was definitely a master of unconventional thinking.
Okay.
Take the story about the insurance salesman who started his prospect list in the middle of the directory instead of the beginning.
Really?
Yeah, it's a simple shift, but it allowed him to reach a whole new pool of potential clients that everyone else was overlooking.
That's like zigging when everyone else is zagging. And that reminds me of how he adapted his own name for business purposes.
Oh, yeah, that's a great example.
Yeah.
His real last name was Girardi.
Gicardi.
But he found that it sometimes led to uncomfortable situations and even cost him sales due to bias.
Wow.
He decided to adapt his name to Girard for business, creating a persona that resonated better with his audience.
Wow. Talk about a bold move.
Yeah, it really was.
It shows a remarkable level of self-awareness and a willingness to adapt to overcome obstacles.
Absolutely.
Do you think this think outside the box approach was key to his success?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the smallest changes can have the biggest impact. This ability to challenge conventional wisdom and constantly innovate is what set Girard apart.
It's like he was always looking for an edge, for a way to do things better differently.
I think so.
But selling 1,425 cars in a year takes more than just clever strategies, right?
You're absolutely right.
So what else was there?
What truly set Gerard apart was his unwavering focus on building genuine connections with his customers.
So it wasn't just about closing the deal.
No.
It was about building a connection that went beyond the transaction.
Exactly.
I'm really curious to hear more about how he put this into practice.
Okay, great.
Tell me more about his approach.
He did things that other salespeople wouldn't even consider.
Like what?
For example, he would send his clients thoughtful gifts, like terrariums.
Terrariums.
Yeah.
That's so unexpected.
Right.
I bet those stood out from the typical thank you cards.
Totally.
It shows that he was putting real thought and effort into nurturing those relationships.
He really was.
But how could he possibly maintain that level of personalization with so many clients?
Well, that's where his famous Gerard's Law of 250 comes in.
Gerard's Law of 200.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's this idea that every customer has a network of about 250 people.
Okay.
Friends, family, colleagues.
Right.
And how you treat that one customer will impact how they talk about you within that entire network.
So it's like a ripple effect.
Yeah, exactly.
Treating one person well can lead to 250 positive impressions.
Right.
On the flip side, one bad experience could spread negativity just as quickly.
Absolutely.
That makes every interaction incredibly important.
Incredibly important.
Exactly.
It's a powerful concept that's become even more relevant today with the rise of online reviews and social media.
For sure.
You could argue that Gerard was ahead of his time in understanding the power of word-of-mouth marketing.
It seems like he was. He was really playing the long game,
Yeah.
building a reputation for exceptional service and genuine care.
Uh-huh.
So it's not just about making the sale.
Right.
It's about creating advocates for your business.
I like that.
But beyond those strategies and philosophies,
Yeah.
there's this persistent theme of Gerard overcoming adversity and using his past struggles as fuel.
Oh, absolutely.
Tell me more about that.
Throughout the audiobook, you can sense how his own experiences, both the good and the bad, shaped his approach to sales. He openly talks about his challenging upbringing and the negativity he faced from his own father.
Instead of letting those experiences define him,
Right.
he used them as a driving force to prove his doubters wrong.
Exactly.
It's a powerful reminder that setbacks can be turned into stepping stones.
I agree.
But I imagine that takes a certain mindset, a deliberate choice to channel that negativity into something positive.
He didn't sugarcoat it.
Right?
He faced rejection setbacks and moments of self-doubt,
Yeah.
but he learned to harness those negative emotions and turn them into fuel for his ambition. It's almost like he flipped the script on how we typically view negative emotions,
Okay.
turning them into a source of motivation.
It's a powerful message for anyone who's ever felt held back by self-doubt or criticism.
Sure.
Gerard's story shows that it's possible to reframe those negative experiences and use them to fuel your success.
Absolutely.
But it's not all about grit and determination, is it?
You're right, it's not.
There's got to be more to it.
One thing that really stands out is his emphasis on authenticity.
Okay.
Gerard believed in being true to yourself, even in the world of sales.
So he wasn't advocating for putting on a fake persona or using manipulative tactics.
No, not at all.
He believed in bringing your genuine self to the table.
Exactly.
I'm curious to hear more about how he balanced that authenticity with the need to persuade and close deals.
Right, it's a good question. He believed that people can spot a phony a mile away.
Right.
Building genuine connections requires authenticity.
Right.
You have to be yourself, even when you're selling.
That makes a lot of sense. People are drawn to those who are genuine and relatable. But how do you reconcile that with the need to present yourself professionally and persuasively?
Right.
Seems like there's a delicate balance there.
Gerard was a master of that balance.
Okay.
He was never afraid to show his personality, to crack a joke or share a personal story. But he also understood the importance of professionalism, of dressing sharp, being well-spoken, and knowing his product inside and out.
So it's not about choosing one over the other.
No.
It's about finding that sweet spot where authenticity and professionalism intersect.
Exactly.
It seems like he was constantly refining his approach, learning from his experiences, and adapting to new challenges.
He believed that success in sales is a continuous journey of self-improvement. He wasn't afraid to experiment with new techniques, analyze his results, and tweak his approach based on what worked.
So he wasn't just going through the motions.
No.
He was actively seeking ways to get better,
Right.
to push his own boundaries. That reminds me of his Law of 250.
Yeah.
It seems like a natural extension of that mindset.
Absolutely. He understood that every interaction, every sale has the potential to impact far beyond that single transaction.
Right.
By treating every customer like they have a network of 250 people, he was essentially turning each sale into a marketing opportunity.
It's brilliant.
It
He's
is.
creating advocates for his business, not just one-time buyers.
Exactly.
But with those kinds of numbers, there must have been times when things didn't go as planned.
Oh, yeah, of course.
How did he handle setbacks and rejection, especially in the face of those sky-high sales goals?
He viewed setbacks as opportunities to learn and grow.
Okay.
He understood that rejection is part of the process,
Right.
especially in sales.
So instead of letting those rejections discourage him, he used them as fuel to get better, to refine his approach, and to come back stronger.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
He was constantly iterating and improving, which is such a valuable lesson for anyone in any field.
I agree.
He didn't dwell on failures.
No.
He analyzed them, extracted the lessons, and moved forward.
Exactly.
I'm starting to see how he achieved those remarkable results.
Yeah.
It was a combination of hard work, strategic thinking, and a relentless commitment to personal growth.
Right.
But it wasn't just about hitting those big numbers, was it?
You're right, it wasn't.
There was a deeper purpose behind his work.
Girard believed in the power of sales to transform lives, both for the seller and the buyer. He saw sales as a way to help people get what they need and want to improve their lives and to achieve their goals.
So it wasn't just about making money. It was about making a positive impact.
Right.
He genuinely cared about his customers and wanted to see them succeed.
I love that perspective.
That's a good one.
It elevates the whole profession.
He believed that sales at its core is about helping people.
Yeah.
And when you approach it with that mindset, it changes everything.
It shifts the focus from transactions to relationships, from persuasion to genuine connection. It becomes less about selling and more about problem solving and creating value. It's fascinating how he managed to weave that sense of purpose into his sales techniques. How did he translate that philosophy into action?
His personalized direct mail campaigns are a great example.
Okay.
He didn't just send out generic flyers. He took the time to understand his audience, their needs, and their interest. He crafted messages that spoke directly to them, making them feel seen and understood. So even in something as seemingly impersonal as direct mail, he managed to inject that personal touch. He wasn't just blasting out messages, he was building connections. That's so clever.
Yeah.
Makes me think about all the marketing messages we're bombarded with every day.
Right, we're inundated.
Yeah.
He understood that in order to cut through the clutter, you need to be relevant, engaging, and authentic.
He was a pioneer of personalized marketing long before it became the industry standard.
For sure.
And it all stemmed from his genuine desire to connect with people and help them. He was really ahead of his time in so many ways.
I think so.
But it wasn't just about being nice, was it?
No, not just about being nice.
He had a keen understanding of the psychology of persuasion.
He understood the importance of building trust, establishing credibility, and creating a sense of urgency. But he never resorted to manipulative tactics or high-pressure sales techniques.
So it's about guiding the customer towards a decision that was in their best interest, not about pushing them into something they didn't need or want. That's a crucial distinction.
He believed that the best salespeople are those who act as advisors, helping their customers navigate the decision-making process and ultimately make a choice they feel good about.
So it's a collaborative approach rather than an adversarial one.
Exactly.
And it builds trust, which is essential for long-term success.
For sure.
But I imagine that even with the best intentions, there must have been times when he faced resistance from customers who were hesitant or skeptical.
Oh, I'm sure there were.
How did he handle those situations?
He had a knack for overcoming objections without being pushy or aggressive.
Okay.
He would listen carefully to their concerns, acknowledge their perspective, and then present solutions that addressed their specific needs.
It sounds like he was a master of empathy.
He was.
He could understand where the customer was coming from, even if they were resistant.
Right.
He didn't try to force his way in. He built a bridge of understanding that must have been incredibly effective.
He was a master of building rapport and connecting with people on a human level. He could disarm even the most skeptical customers with his genuine charm and his ability to make them feel heard.
That's the skill that transcends sales. It's about building relationships, understanding perspectives, and finding common ground. It's so valuable in any aspect of life, whether you're negotiating a deal, resolving a conflict, or simply trying to connect with someone on a deeper level.
Girard understood that people are more likely to do business with someone they like and trust.
Right.
And he was a master of cultivating those relationships.
He wasn't just selling cars. He was selling himself, his values, his belief in people, and that authenticity shone through in everything he did. But even with all his natural talent and charisma, he was still incredibly disciplined and strategic in his approach.
He had a system for everything, from managing his time to tracking his leads to following up with customers.
Right.
He was a master of organization and efficiency, which allowed him to maximize his productivity and achieve those remarkable results.
So it wasn't just about working hard, it was about working smart. He had a plan, and he stuck to it. He understood the importance of having a clear vision, setting ambitious goals, and then taking consistent action to achieve them.
He was a master of setting priorities, delegating tasks, and leveraging his time effectively.
He understood that success isn't just about effort. It's about working strategically and making the most of your resources. And that's a lesson that anyone can apply, regardless of their field or industry. But beyond the strategies and techniques, there's this recurring theme of resilience, of turning setbacks into opportunities. Tell me more about how Girard's personal struggles shaped his approach to sales.
He faced some incredibly challenging situations in his life, from poverty to business failures to personal tragedies.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
But instead of letting those experiences define him, he used them as fuel to drive him forward.
It's almost like he developed an immunity to setbacks. He learned to embrace challenges, to view them as opportunities for growth, and to emerge from them stronger and more determined than ever. It's such a powerful example of resilience and the human spirit's ability to overcome adversity.
He had this incredible ability to reframe negative experiences and turn them into positives. He believed that every challenge, every setback contained a valuable lesson that could help him grow and improve.
He was constantly learning and evolving, never letting his past define his future. It's an inspiring message for anyone who's facing challenges in their own lives, but his story is about more than just overcoming adversity. It's about achieving remarkable success.
He had a vision for what he wanted to achieve, and he was relentless in his pursuit of that vision. He wasn't afraid to set ambitious goals, to push himself beyond his comfort zone, and to take risks in order to achieve his dreams.
So he wasn't content with mediocrity. He strived for excellence in everything he did. It wasn't just about personal ambition, was it?
Right, it went beyond that.
There was a genuine desire to make a positive impact on the world.
He believed in the power of sales to transform lives, both for the seller and the buyer.
Yeah.
He saw his work as a way to help people to create value and to make a difference.
And that sense of purpose, that desire to make a positive impact, shines through in everything he did. It's inspiring to see how he managed to weave that purpose into his sales techniques, creating a legacy that goes far beyond just selling cars.
He left an enduring legacy not just in the world of sales,
Right.
but in the hearts and minds of countless people who were inspired by his story, his wisdom, and his unwavering belief in the human spirit.
He was a true pioneer, a visionary, and a remarkable human being. His story is a testament to the power of hard work, resilience, and the unwavering pursuit of excellence. But his legacy goes beyond just achieving success. It's about making a positive impact on the world. One customer, one interaction, one sale at a time, and that's a legacy worth aspiring to. It's incredible how his story resonates even today, decades after he set those sales records.
It really is.
It's like his principles are timeless, applicable to anyone who wants to build genuine connections and achieve lasting success.
That's true. Take his Law of 250. It was revolutionary for its time, but now with social media and online reviews, it's even more relevant.
Oh, yeah.
Every interaction has the potential to go viral, for better or worse.
Makes you think twice about how you treat every customer, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You're not just building a relationship with one person, you're potentially impacting their entire network.
Absolutely.
It's like that old saying,
What's that?
a happy customer tells a friend, an unhappy customer tells 10.
Exactly. And Girard took that to heart long before the days of Yelp and Twitter.
Wow.
He was building a brand, not just selling cars.
He understood that reputation is everything. And he built his on a foundation of genuine care, personalized service, and a commitment to exceeding expectations. The powerful reminder that the best marketing is often word of mouth, driven by authentic experiences. But I'm curious, do you think his approach is still effective in today's digital world?
Good question.
So much has changed in how we communicate and do business.
In some ways, it's even more relevant now.
Really?
Yeah, think about how much noise we're all bombarded with online.
I know, right?
Ads, emails, social media posts. It's harder than ever to stand out, to cut through the clutter.
That's true.
Yeah,
So in a way, Girard's emphasis on personalization and building genuine connections is even more valuable today.
absolutely.
It's about creating those human touch points that get lost in the digital shuffle.
I think so, yeah.
Exactly. He wasn't afraid to pick up the phone, write a handwritten note, or send a thoughtful gift. He understood the power of those small gestures,
Yeah,
those moments of genuine connection to make a lasting impact.
it's true.
It's a reminder that even in the digital age, human connection still matters.
For sure.
People crave authenticity. They want to feel seen and heard. Girard understood that intuitively,
Yeah, he had a knack for that.
and he wasn't afraid to challenge conventional wisdom.
Right.
Remember how he adapted his name to resonate better with his audience?
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
That was a bold move for its time.
It was.
But it shows a willingness to adapt, to think outside the box, to find creative solutions.
Oh.
That kind of adaptability is essential for success in any field, but especially in sales where you're constantly facing new challenges and evolving markets. Girard was always looking for an edge, a way to do things better differently. He never stopped learning, never stopped growing.
He believed in the power of continuous self-improvement. He analyzed his successes and failures, experimented with new techniques, and was always seeking ways to refine his approach.
It's inspiring to see that level of dedication and commitment, even after achieving such remarkable success. He never rested on his laurels. He was always striving to get better.
Yeah, he really was.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Joe Girard's world, what's the one key takeaway you'd like to leave our listeners with?
I think this success isn't about magic formulas or quick fixes. It's about cultivating a mindset of continuous learning, building genuine relationships, and finding that spark of passion that fuels your drive, just like Joe Girard did.
Beautifully said. And for our listener out there, think about this. What's one small action you can take today to apply one of Girard's principles to your own work or life? Maybe it's sending a handwritten thank you note, reaching out to a former client, or simply brainstorming a new creative way to approach a challenge. Remember, you don't need a Guinness World Record to make a difference. Just a willingness to experiment, to connect, to keep pushing forward.